Today, on the Vince Everett Ellison Show, I'm going to explain to you that the white liberal is your real enemy. The white conservative is the best friend you ever had. We're going to talk about that today, and we're going to disprove this lie that the white liberal is your friend and the white conservative is your enemy. Today, on the Vince Everett Ellison Show. All right, let's get this thing started. Y'all, this is my first show of the new year, and we've talked about a lot of things over the past year. The title of this show is that the white liberal, not the white conservative, is actually your enemy. But before I go into that, I think that at the beginning of the year, it is necessary for me to remind everybody what this show is really about. We can kind of get lost in all the politics and all of the religious theory and all of the social stuff, and we can kind of get lost into what this show is really about. And I want to start reminding people, almost every show, what it is that we are really here to explain to people. And you might be kind of amazed at it. But this is what this show is about. Number one, we want you to understand and walk away from this show understanding and believing that the Democratic Party is the evilest institution in the history of the world. Part of slavery from 1800 to 1860, the part of the Confederacy from 1860 to 1865, part of Jim Crow from 1865 and 1965, just 100 years of extra constitutionalism, not obeying the law, killing people, burning people, raping people, black people, just a bunch of savages, man. Ku Klux Klan, red shirts, keeping people from voting. Bunch of savages. And all of them were Democrats down here that were doing it. Then after the feds came down and made them, kind of saw it acting right, they put it into overdrive. Now they're the part of abortion up to the 9th month, killing babies even after abortion. Wouldn't vote for the Born Alive bill. No. Baby survives an abortion, got to kill him on the table. That's the Democrat Party. Party of transgenderism. Party of sexually grooming and changing the gender and the sex and giving sex change operations to children. Yes, Joe Biden did take the state of Tennessee to the Supreme Court. They are right now deliberating the question right now. Tennessee said that you can't give children sex change operations and hormones. Joe Biden said, I'd be that gummit. That's so. That gummit. Yeah, if a child is born and he got a crazy parent, they want to snip him, let him be snipped. That's the Democrats. The party of open borders, an evil institution. Always has been, always will be, and our job is not to negotiate with them. Our job is to not co-government with them. Our job here is to expose them and destroy them. We're to expose evil deeds and stop people from committing them. Not sit down and have dinner and lattes, joking and playing and backslapping with them. That's one. Second thing we want to do is expose the Iron Triangle. What is the Iron Triangle? It was a book that I did. I was born on a cotton plantation in Haywood County, Tennessee. My father was a sharecropper. I'm talking about real Jim Crow South. Cotton plantation in the Mississippi Delta in the 1960s, in a shack with no running water, no central heat. My mother and my father were very young and very dirt poor. But my father and my mother believed in America. And they both thrived. Dad brought us out of poverty by getting involved in the insurance industry. He aspired. And he bought his first house in 1972. Daddy's 82 years old, still lives there. Paid it off. Been there 50 years. It's the American dream. One of the most respected people in Haywood County. I went back this year. The people in Haywood County celebrated me. They're very, very good people. And even though they were celebrating me, everywhere I went, I was still Ivory T's boy. Still Ivory T's boy. They all love him there. He started a gospel music show that was picked up and it ran for almost 30 years. And he became an icon, playing good gospel music, and everybody listened to him every night for 30 years. So he brought us out of poverty, went to college, University of Memphis, and after that I started working in a prison. And I thought that most Americans had been like I'd been. I thought they had overcome. I thought that people had aspired, they had pulled themselves up, they had done well. I was wrong about that. When I worked in that prison, it was during the 1990s with the Clinton-Biden crime bill. This was in South Carolina. At the beginning of my time working there, South Carolina had in the 1980s, South Carolina had 3 prisons. By the end of the 1990s, they had about 30. So Bill Clinton and Joe Biden had put together this crime bill. $40 billion put police on the streets and built prisons for the crack cocaine epidemic that a lot of people say they was bringing into the black community. And boy, they was locking black men up. Oh man, they were locking them up. And of course, I asked the black intelligentsia, I said, man, what's going on here? Why are they locking up these black men like this? And they gave me the old refrain, evil, rich, white Republicans and conservatives hate black people. So I decided to not be part of that system any longer. I resigned my post from the prison, started a nonprofit to go down in the ghettos to keep these young men from going to jail. And when I went down there, I found out something pretty interesting. I didn't see any evil, rich, white Republicans anywhere. Not in the ghettos. Man, like I said before, you see a leprechaun or a unicorn before you saw a rich, white Republican hanging out down in the ghettos. Detroit, Chicago, they'd be dead in 5 minutes. But what you did see was a bunch of black preachers, Democrat black preachers, black civil rights groups, and a bunch of black Democrat politicians down there all the time. You couldn't turn around without running into one. And I called this group the Iron Triangle, and I wrote a book about them. And Book Authority gave this book number 61 of the greatest political books ever written in the history of the world. Blew the lid off of it. These bunch of no good, sorry Negroes were conduits between rich white liberals and the black community in those ghettos, and their jobs were to keep them poor, ignorant, and afraid, and voting for the Democrat Party by hook or by crook. And man, them suckers are a machine, and they still work today. They just an old variation of the house Negro back during slavery. You sit in with the boss's old clothes on, and yes, sir, boss, yes, sir, boss. They just elevated them. So when black people got the right to vote in the or when black people stopped being afraid to vote in the 1960s, they just activated them. They've always been there. And y'all go down there, the black preacher had a whole lot of pull, and then the civil rights groups got their money from a lot of these white liberals, and then the black politician got his money from the Democrat Party, and they went down there and said, hey, man, your problem ain't the white Democrats, the problem is the Republicans. And black folks down there, uneducated, said, shown up. Yeah, man, the Republicans are the bad people now, and the Democrats are the good people. And when you look around you and you see death, destruction, and mayhem all over the place, you still believe that lie. So the Iron Triangle, our goal here on this show is to expose them every chance we get. And believe me, there's going to be a lot of opportunity to expose these guys. Al Sharpton, Jesse Jackson, Ben Crump, all these, they're horrible people, man. Bunch of sellouts. So that's number 2. We're going to expose Iron Triangle on this show. Number 3, we want you to understand the two things that will destroy America and the world. 2 things. and the Democrats push them hard. I mean, these jokers push these things hard. They push these jokers like a crack cocaine salesman push crack. And that is abortion and the radical LGBTQ agenda. It's destroying America. Right now, America's rate of replacement is at 1.6. It should be at 2.1 just to keep us where we are in our population. But we're in a death spiral now. We're dying as a nation. And the Democrats know it. I mean, that's been their goal. That's been their goal. Ever since the Marxists joined the Democratic Party in the 60s, they've had a hidden agenda to destroy this nation. And they're going to do it by depopulation, that's number one, and then they're going to do it by fiscal irresponsibility, and this is why the deficit keeps going up and they will not cut it. They want to explode the economy. That's who they are. Now, I'm telling you this, and you need to understand this. The Democrat Party's goal is to destroy the America that we know and replace it with a Marxist communist state. Like I told you before, that party, perverts, liars, psychopaths, anti-Christian bigots, and now you can add to it thugs, hoes, and rappers. We want to convince you of that. So on this channel, that's what you're going to hear. Number 4, we want you to understand this on the Vince Everett Ellison Show. Satan does exist. There's an evil presence in this world. He's not a myth. He is a fact. And he roams this earth like a roaring lion, and he comes to kill, steal, and destroy. And this is most important. Satan lays his head at the Democrat National Committee, the DNC. If you go down to that sucker, you might well go down to Magic City and just get yourself a stripper pole, because it is like, you go down there, a bunch of pervert, oh my goodness. Men in dresses, women on hormones, abortion doctors, the people crazy. You go in there with a cross out. Go in there with holy water, sprinkling it on, and them jokers will start running, man. You go in there and start praying, they'll lose their minds. This is a jacked up, messed up place. I don't like cussing on my show, but if I could cuss, I could really explain it to you how bad it is. Just nasty, no good, lying, perverted people. Just the worst folks you ever found. Pornographers, dope dealers. I mean, the worst folks you could ever think about. Cardi B and the P. Diddy's and the Jay-Z's, all of them run the Democrat Party. And they down at the DNC doing the nastiest stuff you ever heard of in your life and trying to make it law in the United States of America. So Satan exists. If you're a Christian, you're supposed to believe that. But of course, you got a lot of people here in America that want to play Christian. They don't want to, it's a hobby for them. It's not a lifestyle no more. Satan don't really exist. There's no such thing as evil. Just a different point of view. Everything's objective. Everything is subjective. What you call evil, I call good. Well, read your Bible. Deal with the 4 Gospels. It'll make evil quite plain to you in what it is. I'll make evil very simple for you. Take this and write it down if you're ignorant about what evil is, because Vince Ellison is going to give you a plain definition of evil that you can never, ever forget or argue with. Evil is anyone that will harm a child. Jesus Christ said that anyone that harms one of these little ones is better than a millstone be tied around their necks and they be thrown into the sea. Man, that's Jesus Christ saying that. Jesus said he's going to tie a millstone around your neck and throw you into the sea. And that's the Prince of Peace, man. That's some violent stuff, bro, if you don't understand what I'm talking about. Picture this. You standing there. Jesus is going to take a millstone. That's not going to weigh about 100 pounds, okay, maybe more. Tied around your neck. And throw you back into the water and watch you go down. And you just trying to get up. If you hurt one of these little children. And you got the Democratic Party just spitting out abortions like they apple seeds. They don't care. And Jesus is gathering all those little children up. Come home. I'm going to deal with them later. I'm telling you. Y'all better cut this evil institution loose. You're going to get only so many warnings before it comes down on you. And this last thing that I really want you to know, and this might be, all the stuff I just said, this might be the most controversial thing on this whole show that I need you to understand, and that I'm going to keep hitting at you until you understand it. Here it is. You ain't going to like it. I don't care. There's no virtue in the civil rights movement. Yeah, I said it. None. It's done tremendous damage to the black community. Name me something that's done right. Black family destroyed, black educational system destroyed, black economy destroyed. Can't live nowhere where groups of black people live. Detroit, Chicago, Memphis, LA. You can't live around. It's all chaos. It's like when they used to have those Maydays in Russia, when communism was going on. And the people sitting there cold and shaking and teeth falling out, all emaciated. A dude 30 years old looked like he's 80. And the Russians sitting there saying, man, look, this ain't good, cool at all. But the guys standing up on the Kremlin wall got their fur coats sewn, and they all, yeah, it's cool, man, because life is cool with them. They're isolated from the decisions they were making. People in Russia finally said, no, this is enough, and they turned it over. That's the black community now, celebrating failure. Just celebrating failure. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. He was apostate. He was a menace. He was amoral. He was a useful idiot for the communists and the Marxists. Either he was one of them or he was the biggest fool that ever walked the face of this earth because they used him like he was a puppet. He had a crew of black preachers that went around just everywhere they went, they doing orgies. 15, 20 of them in a room, all of them naked. Men on men, women on women. Drinking, smoking, fighting, beating up women, anti-Christian ideology. I have a dream speech talking about, I'm dreaming that one day my 4 little children will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. What's wrong with the color of my skin? My Bible tells me I ain't supposed to be concerned at all about how man views the color of my skin or how man views me at all. But he's walking around here saying, I'm dreaming about a day that my 4 little children will not be judged by the color of their skin. Boy, you know what? That really makes me sick. If you don't like the color of my skin, that's your problem. You put your hands on me, you're going to have another one. My job is to love you. If you hate me, that's your problem. But I ain't going to be walking behind no white man saying, please, Mr. White Man, please don't judge me by the color of my skin, sir, please. And teaching my children that mess. This is why right now black people hate each other. Black self-hate. Everybody call each other the N-word, call black women the B-word and the W-word. That's kind of stinking thinking. Dreaming about a day. You only dream about a day that you only want to be judged about something. You don't want to be judged by something that you're ashamed of. You never heard nobody say, I don't want to be judged by my nice big home or my nice big car or my diamonds on my... No, you don't want to be judged by something that you're ashamed of. King talking about don't judge me by the color of my skin. What's your white man will come to me and say, Vince, I'm not going to judge you by the color of my skin. I'm going to say, I don't care if you do. Underestimate me at your peril, player. Think I'm going to say thank you? Vince, I'm not going to judge you by the color of your skin. Well, thank you, Mr. White Man. Thank you. God, boy, these jokers sick. I'm sitting here right now getting mad. Wishing I could just go and just find a group of them old civil rights marchers and just beat the hell out of them. But I know I can't do it. It wouldn't be right. You know, they old and decrepit and whatnot. Anyway, walking around talking about we'll never be satisfied. When will we be satisfied? Never be satisfied. Till justice rolls down like water and righteousness like a mighty stream. That's a fancy way of saying never. Never being satisfied. When Jesus left you and said, my peace I leave with you. And then you say, we'll never be satisfied. Now, how does that work? Take as much time as you need. Jesus said, I'll leave you peace. A peace that transcends all understanding. We ain't going to be satisfied. Marching, threatening, fighting. Then gave man your peace. Totally anti-Christian. 5 times in that speech he said we want free. Even at the end of it he said, on some certain days we'll be free at last. Free at last. Thank God Almighty, we're free at last. Jesus said, you was born free. I've given you your freedom. He who the Son is free indeed. And King said, 100 years after the Emancipation Proclamation, the Negro is still not free. Now look at that lie. And right now you got black people walking around right now hollering, I ain't free. I ain't free. In the book of Galatians says, for freedom Christ sets you free. Do not submit yourself to the yoke of slavery. Submit. So yeah, there's no virtue in the civil rights movement. Bunch of slave-minded, weak-minded beta males laying down, getting the hell beat out of them so the white folks will like them. And look at where they got them. Nothing. Got a bunch of black Marxists elected in the public office, and all they want is free stuff. Then almost broke the American budget behind free stuff. Do you know that they've given over $25 trillion in free stuff to black Americans since then? Well, in handouts since then. $25 trillion. And people are poorer now than they were then. So, we want you to come away from this show with those things in mind, if you will. Like I said, the Democratic Party is the evilest institution in the history of the world. Knowledge about the Iron Triangle. Abortion and radical LGBTQ will depopulate and destroy America. Satan does exist. And he lies his head at the DNC. And there's no virtue in the civil rights movement. We have to stop celebrating it, and we have to pull it up, and we have to pull up the stupid ideology of it, root and stern. Now, we got a few minutes to deal with the subject at hand. It's been this lie going around for a very, very, very long time, that the white conservative is the enemy of black America and the enemy of America, and that the white liberal is good. Minister Malcolm X, y'all, spoke on this issue, and he spoke quite eloquently. And it was awesome what he said.
I'd like to point out, though, that...
And I say that because it is usually if you study the structure of the Negro community, economically, politically, civically, psychologically, and otherwise, it's controlled by the white liberal, who usually poses as the friend of the Negro, who actually differs from the white conservative in the same way that the fox differs from the wolf. Their appetite is the same. Their motives are the same. It's only their mannerisms and methods that differ.
And more than that, I would say that just because a person is a Negro or a black American does not mean that he's going to struggle for Negro rights or for jobs for Negroes or anything else. I think that today you could point to a large number of Negro leaders who have consistently betrayed Negroes in a whole host of areas.
They aren't really Negro leaders. These are puppets that have been put in front of the Negro community by white liberals.
See, Malcolm X saw it 60 years ago. Tried to warn you. These white liberals are no good. They've been perverts, liars, psychopaths, and anti-Christian bigots since the 1800s. But they slid into the civil rights movement and they said, hey, we're going to use the ecclesiastical and the absolute moral absolutism of the civil rights movement and apply to black people to gain power in America. And they did it. And who did they get with? Black preachers. Then they started funding black organizations like the NAACP and the SCLC. Yeah, y'all can look them up. Y'all can find out that the NAACP was founded by 9 white folks and 1 black person. He was a communist, W.B. Du Bois. And all the money was coming from the white estate. Now, why were white folks so interested in 1909 about the plight of black people? They were always concerned about, white liberals were always concerned about controlling the black vote so they could use it for their own betterment. And they have. So, here's the lie. This is how it goes. The Republican Party was the good party for black folks until the Civil Rights Movement, and then the Democrat Party, they switched, and the Democrat Party became the party of black people after the Civil Rights Movement. All right. Let's stick a pin in that. Hold that thought just for a second. So, the Democrats and the liberals became the party of the black folks after the Civil Rights Movement, and the conservatives jumped with the Republicans and became the racist party. That's right. Okay, can you explain to me then, if liberalism and the Democrats were so good for black folks, why did black people get worse after the Democrats took over and the liberals took over? Can anybody answer that question, please? Abortion went sky high in the black community after 1972. They took prayer out of schools and the schools went crazy. Black family, because of the man out clause and the civil rights community rejecting Patrick Moynihan's plea to put the black man back at the head of his family. And the feminists and the civil rights community knew that they could not destroy the black community as long as the black man was head of his family. Said, no, we're going to use government money to run him out. Welfare destroyed the black economy so that black people didn't have to work. And on top of all that, they let the drugs come in. So if you think the Democratic Party has done well, just like what John F. Kennedy said, for people that think that liberalism is great and has done well, he said, or communism has done well, he stood at the Berlin Wall, and he said, let them come to Berlin. Well, I say to you, if you think that the Democratic Party has done well by black people, let's go to where black people live. If you think that the Democrat Party has done well by black people, let them go to Chicago. Let them go to Detroit. Let them go to D.C. Let them go to New Orleans, Memphis, L.A., Portland, Jackson, Mississippi. Everywhere they rule. Mayhem, destruction. But let the mainstream media tell it, oh, Lord, we live in the life of Riley. Black folks just got it made. I mean, we do have an obesity problem in the black community, they say. So I guess in some ways they do. Everybody got a phone. Most people got a place to stay. Everybody seems like they got enough to eat. Got televisions, flat screens, air conditioning, running water. But they still seem to be angry, don't they? Yeah. Still don't have the peace of God. They took away your religion. They took away your right to keep and bear arms. Took away the family. Took away your economic system where, people get their way of life. They get their worth from their work, and you took it away from them. I remember watching this episode on Jurassic Park. It was the first one, and they were showing the people, before the park opened up, they wanted to show them some of the exhibits, some of the dinosaurs. There was this paleontologist that was really excited about this because he had been studying dinosaurs his whole life. He really wanted to see him, but he really wanted to see the T-Rex. That was his favorite. He couldn't wait to see the T-Rex. So they slide him around on the cars, and guy said on the microphone, we're getting ready to see the T-Rex. And he got very excited, and he looked over, and they had this goat in a cage, and they had the goat tied with a chain around his neck. And they was going to try to get T-Rex to come out and eat the goat, and that's how everybody was going to see it. And the goat was sitting there, bang, 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 bang. And the guy was getting excited, and T-Rex didn't come out. And T-Rex would not come out. And the paleontologist finally got exasperated. He said, he understood. He understood. He said, T-Rex doesn't want to be fed. T-Rex wants to hunt. T-Rex didn't want you to give him some tied up lamb. Yeah, T-Rex earns his food. That was insult to T-Rex. That's how most men are. Men don't want to be fed. Men don't want to got to go to the mailbox and get their check. They want to hunt. They want to earn it. And the Democratic Party took away their right to earn it. And in many ways took away their manhood in the process. And now they're taking it back. And conservatives understood that. And men want to hunt. And they kept their culture together and they taught their men to hunt. You know how I know? Because I'm in that community and I know these people and I've earned their respect. You know why? Because I hunt. Like a damn shark. I get up every day and I go, man. And you DEI punks, you couldn't live in my world. I'll slit your throat, figuratively. Come in this world with me and my brothers and see what we do to you. And that's what the Democrats have done. To everybody that follow them. Bunch of men in dresses, bunch of swordback boys. So how do I know? Because I know these people. And I don't give a dadgum about your color. They give a dadgum about who you are as a man or as a woman. So all this dreaming about that day, look, player, that day is here. You ain't got to worry about being judged by the content of your character. You can't avoid it. And the Democrats have given these young black people this fallback position that if they don't make it in this world, they can say, it's because of the color of my skin. No, it ain't. Because you're walking around, you show up late, you're disrespectful, you won't do your job well, you complain. Right now, they won't hire you. You know why? Because I got so many laws on the books when it comes down to race that when the boss man see you coming in, he see nothing but a lawsuit. If he chastises you for coming in late, you're going to try to take him to court. He harassed me because I'm black. And the man said, that's a problem. So all these laws these Democrats have placed on the books to say try to help you, they hurting you. Because I'm going to tell you this. In the marketplace of America, you got to compete. In the Democratic Party, it's with a scarlet letter on most black people, and especially these little LGBTQ flaming black people, that when that boss man see you walk into that room, he gonna automatically say X. He gonna talk to you, how you doing, sir? I'm doing fine, sir. Okay, sir, we'll call you. And he gonna say, don't you even look at that joker right there and call him back. Why? He a problem. As soon as he gonna want to walk into the women's bathroom and use the bathroom, and as soon as a woman yell and cry, he gonna want to holler lawsuit, and I ain't got no time for that. He gonna come in late, 15 minutes late, and when I try to chastise him, he gonna try to call me a racist. I ain't got time for that. And you're gonna have to go to the Democratic Party and get on some type of social program, and they're gonna have to take care of you for the rest of your life, and that's how they trapped your ignorant behind. So stay over there on that plantation. The white liberals set it all up for you, man. They have limited what you can do in America. But if you want to have everything you want to achieve greatness in this great country, you better come over here and compete with us on this side. And if you can't, and if you're willing to compete, you'll do fine. But you're going to compete. You got to earn my respect. And if you don't, go over there with the rest of the boys and put on a dress. With that, go to my website, VinceSpeaksTruth.com. On it, you'll find all my wares. You'll find my books, Iron Triangle. You'll find 25 Lies. You'll find Crime Inc., and you'll find my latest, The End of Tolerance. You'll find my great documentary, Where You Go to Hell For Me. You'll find books, you'll find hats, you'll find T-shirts. Y'all support this program, and I want you to subscribe, and I want you to comment, I want you to like. We're going to set it on fire this year. We beat these Democrats last year, but they just wounded. They ain't dead. I want to bury these jokers 6 foot under and not even leave a tombstone where people can find them. Because you know what, y'all? It's 2025, and I'm here to wake you up. Hope I did you some good today. It's showing me tomorrow for another edition of the Vince Everett Ellison Show. All right, friends, Vince Everett Ellison is here. I want you to go to my website, and on my website, you're going to see a lot of great stuff, man. You're going to see that we got t-shirts, we got caps, you got my books, my documentaries, you got all kinds of stuff on VinceSpeaksTruth.com. Go there. We're dropping new t-shirts, we're dropping new merchandise. My new book, The End of Tolerance, is there. The End of Tolerance. Make sure you get it, make it #1. If you got my first 3, get The End of Tolerance. It's just as good, and it's telling us we have to end our tolerance with these leftists, these Democrats. We can no longer allow them to sexually groom our children. We can no longer allow them to castrate little boys and call them little girls, run God out of the public square, take away our guns, take away our sovereignty. No longer allow it. So go on VinceSpeaksTruth.com. That is VinceSpeaksTruth.com. Hit merchandise. You'll see the t-shirts. You'll see the caps. You'll see the books. You'll see the documentaries. You'll see it all. And let's keep this ball rolling. God bless you.